What happened?
Krishna Krishna Namakare Sarva Papakshaya Navavida Bhakti Purna Nama Hoite Hoya. So chanting the holy name of Krishna once, the
Let me
screen is
put the
getting cut
screen back.
the cornerstone.
No,
Yeah.
let me put the
By
thing
chanting,
back. Let me put this back. What happened? Let me correct this, huh? Give me a minute. Why this thing is like this? Should not be like this, no? How you sort this out? Hmm?
Prabhu, it is CC what Prabhu? What canto is this?
This is Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Madhya 15107. Madhya 15107.
Why is it coming like this? Huh? I should have
Thank you,
whole
Prabhuji.
screen. Should come on the whole screen, no? I had to get some of them to help me out. Why this thing is like this? Huh. Problem. How you solve this problem? Hmm?
I don't know, Prabhu. Last time you do with your devotees, no? How they do that?
Let me try to solve this. Give me a minute. Folio program is.
Okay.
All right. Can you read?
Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person is relieved from all the reactions of sinful life. One can complete the 9 process of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name.
So, chanting the holy name is more important than you know, hearing, right? Can read the purport?
The process of devotional service entails hearing, chanting, remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities, and entourage of the Lord, offering service according to the time, place, and performer, worshipping the deity and offering the prayers, always considering oneself the eternal servant of Krishna, making friends with him, and dedicating everything unto him. These 9 items of devotional service, when are directly offered to Krishna, constitute the highest attainment of life. This is the wording of the revealed scriptures. As for being freed from the sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of Krishna only once, one must chant the holy name without committing any offenses. Then chanting one name is sufficient to rescue living being from all sinful reactions. Such a person who chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly is very important and worshipable. Indeed, the 9 devotional processes, beginning with Shravana, and Kirtana, can all be attained at once if one simply chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly. In this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami states in his book Bhakti Sandarbha 173, Yadyapi Anya Bhakti Kalau Kartavyaha Tatha Kirtanya Bhakti Samyogendra Naiva. Out of 9 rows of devotional service, Kirtana is very important. Sri Jiva Goswami therefore instructs that the other process such as Archana, Vandana, Dasya, Satya should be executed. But they must be proceeded followed by the Kirtana, the chanting of the holy name. We have therefore introduced a system in all our centers. Archana, Arati, Bhoga, offering, dating, dressing, decoration are all proceeded by following the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So you see how the chanting is most important, no? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can read this?
The Vaishnava Chintamani, there is a following statement. Although capable of destroying all sins, the remembrance of Lord Vishnu is achieved only with extraordinary effort. On the other hand, one may perform Krishna Kirtana simply by moving one's lips, and thus this process is superior. Srila Jiva Goswami has also quoted as following verse. Let me repeat, Prabhu. Although capable of destroying all sins, remembrance of Lord Vishnu is achieved only with extraordinary effort. On the other hand, one may perform Krishna Kirtana simply by moving one's lip, and thus this process is superior. Sri Jiva Goswami has also quoted the following verse: Ena Janma Satai Purnam Purvam Vasudeva Smarchitaha Tanmuke Harinamani Sadadishtanti Bharata. O descendant of Bharata, the holy name of the Lord Vishnu were always vibrating in the mouth of one who has previously worshipped Deva perfectly for hundreds of lifetime. The same idea is conveyed in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Srimati Devahuti in a statement to her son Kapila. Ahobat swapacho to gariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste jihvu samsudarya Brahmanuchir Nama Grahanti Ete. How glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans to be chanting the holy name of your Lordship. They must have bathed at the holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:37. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has concluded that it is possible to perform Kirtana equally in all the ages. In Kali Yuga, however, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His causeless mercy, personality induces the living entities to take the holy name. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has quoted the Lord as follows: Enachi Aushati Maya Nasipara Lagi Harinama Madam Mahamantra Lavotumi Magi. O conditioned souls who are foolishly sleeping on the lap of the witch Maya, I have brought the excellent medicine to cure the disease of illusion. This medicine is called Harinama. It is my holy name. It is my holy name. And by taking this medicine, you will get perfection in life. Therefore, I sincerely request you to please take this medicine that I have personally brought for you. In verse 32 of this chapter, it was stated, Yajnehi Sankirtana Iprayam Ajantihi Chubedashaha. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Sankirtana Prayahi, which mean mainly by the process of Sankirtana, indicate that although other processes such as deity worship may be performed to some extent in Kali Yuga, such process, in order to be successful, must be favorably connected with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. One who is performing worship of the Krishna deity should know that the most essential part of such deity worship is constant chanting of the holy names of the Lord. On the other hand, one who has perfectly chanted the holy name of the Lord need not depend on the process such expressed in the following famous mantra: Hare Nama, Hare Nama CC Adlila 1721. In this age of Kali, there is no alternative, there is no alternative of spiritual progress the holy name of the Lord. Brahma Naradiya Purana 38.126 has provided all of these evidences. The statement of this Bhagavatam that spiritually advanced persons worship the age of Kali due to the facilities offered in this age by the Lord is not at all contradictory. At the end of verse 40 in this chapter, it is stated, Priyo Bhakta Bhagavati Vasudeva Malasayaha. In general, who are able to regularly drink the water of the holy rivers of South India will be pure-hearted devotees of Lord Vasudeva. The word prayaha or in general indicates that those who are offensive to the Lord's devotees, although claiming themselves to be devotees, are not included within the list of Amalasayaha or the pure-hearted souls. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura has pointed out that one should not be bewildered by seeing the apparently poverty-stricken stages of inhabitants of South India. Even nowadays, the inhabitants of places mentioned in this verse generally spend their days with meager eating and clothing and live great renounced devotees of Supreme Lord. In other words, clothes do not make a man. To live as a Polish animal, dressing oneself luxuriously and gratifying the tongue, the rich foods, is not the actual symptom of an advanced transcendentalist. Although the residents of South India are generally Sri Vaishnava or devotees in the Lakshmi Sampradaya, they are recognized as devotees of Lord by the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, their austere living conditions should be taken as a good qualification, not a disqualification.
So we see how important the chanting is. Yes, chanting of Hare Krishna is the most auspicious thing in Kali Yuga. Hmm? There's no other method most purifying than chanting. Yes?
But the Shravanam and Kirtanam cannot be separated, no, Prabhu. Even when we chant, we have to hear, no?
In that sense, yes, but mainly to chant, first. Then you hear, no? Correct? Some people like to meditate and all that thing. Some people like to chant also very silently. All these things are best is to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
this is most important thing to do. Kali Yuga, there's no other way.
There is another question, Prabhu, in the chat.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I have a question on Ritvik system. If possible, you can answer. Question. As we know, that Srila Prabhupada wanted the Ritvik system initially to be conducted. But it's also very much true that Prabhupada wanted us to follow the GBC. As it is said, is it said by Prabhupada that after my disappearance, GBC will be the final making authority? Though I know that the GBC has disobeyed Prabhupada by not following instruction, but in the same way, aren't we also disobeying Prabhupada by disregarding GBC? So either we follow Diksha Guru system or Rituk system. Both ways we are disobeying Prabhupada. Couldn't understand this contradiction. So
Okay.
Prabhupada said that the GBC will be the the ultimate managing authority.
Very much.
So the ultimate managing authority's position is to follow. Prabhupada said the GBC has no other business but to follow the teachings of Prabhupada. Hmm? Yes? Yes or not? I'm going to read the order of Prabhupada. The GBC,
The ultimate argument, whatever they say, we follow. GBC.
the GBC has been established by the. Hello, I'm reading. Please, who's interrupting? I'm reading. The GBC has been established by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to represent him in carrying out the responsibility of managing the international society of which he is the founder, Acharya, and supreme authority. The GBC accepts as his life and soul his divine instruction and recognize that it is completely dependent on his mercy in all respects. The GBC has no other function or purpose other than to execute the instructions so kindly given by His divine grace and preserve and spread His teaching to the world in their true form. So if the GBC has given a role to perform, and if they don't do it, then how are we to accept them? Hmm? Our acceptance of GBC is based on they accepting the instruction of Prabhupada 100%. And if Prabhupada has given a written instruction on how initiation should be done by the Ritvik system, and if they neglect it and disobey his order, then why we should be following them? Hmm? You understand? Hmm? Are you following me? Huh? Who asked this question? You see there?
Yes, Prabhuji, but I think we don't have the authority to neglect GBC's decision. I think so. GBC
What do you
has the
mean?
authority.
What do you mean that you don't have the authority? If they have disobeyed Prabhupada, then how you can follow? 1972, Prabhupada disbanded the GBC when they disobeyed him, and they told them that you just follow the temple presidents and carry on.
But that Prabhupada has had corrected them. But who are we to
Prabhupada
correct
has,
the GBC?
Prabhupada has corrected them based on their disobedience. So that is already
Yes,
a
but
precedent.
after yes,
Listen,
but
let me
after
talk. Let me talk first. There is a precedent. Prabhupada said you disobeyed, so disbanded. So if they have disobeyed, then you have to be you cannot follow them. That's already
okay,
Prabhupada showed us what to do.
okay, okay.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, yes,
You understand? If Prabhupada has shown
yes.
us that if they have gone astray, then you don't follow them. Then what do you mean? Prabhupada has to come here and tell you personally? What are you talking about?
Prabhuji, but they are not accepting that they are disobeying Prabhupada. They are saying no,
That
no.
is
Prabhupada wanted Diksha
that
Guru.
is that is their nonsense. Where is this the Prabhupada wanted Diksha Guru? Show me a letter, show me
Hmm.
something.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
Prabhupada say you don't surrender your intelligence, you surrender with intelligence, You understand?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Where are
Prabhuji.
they following? I want to know where they are following. You tell me. Where? He has given a written order that everybody should follow the Ritvik system, and you disobeyed it, and then you say, what? We have the final authority. What is nonsense is this? Huh? Does it this common sense, you understand?
Yes, yes.
Are you following?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, 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 Prabhuji.
So don't write all this nonsense, they are nonsense. You follow this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, yes.
Uh, and now you accept the Ritvik system is finished. Why you have so many more questions? Huh?
Little doubts I have, Prabhuji. Still,
What is little
little.
doubts? Then you read
No,
the you
Prabhuji.
read the, you read the IA-77 again.
Okay, Prabhuji. Just on the topic of GBC, I have little bit doubts. The decision, I have full conviction that Prabhupada wanted Ritvik system,
So
but
finish. What little doubt some more? If they have disobeyed, they are finished. They are useless, Prabhupada said. Correct?
yes, yes,
So how can they
yes.
be useful again? If you are useless by
Hmm.
disobeying, you can become useful. What is that? Huh? If somebody is telling you to go against Prabhupada, you should follow them?
No, no, no,
Huh? What is
no,
your
no.
argument? It's
Yes,
baseless. Understand?
yes, yes. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Prabhu, Dinesh here, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, Prabhu, I have a question. So I remember in a letter that, right, for a temple construction project, Prabhupada instructed that all devotees of temple should attend the full morning program. Then, right, and keep up your spiritual standard, chanting minimum 16 rounds. Then he said that he will send the money, right? All the devotees in the temple should. I don't have the ref.
Now, what's the
So
question? What's the question?
this class comes at a time when from 8 o'clock till about 9 o'clock, and that right?
We cannot hear you. Your voice is breaking, you know. Can anyone hear him? Can anyone help me with this
Prabhu, I'll
question?
ask the question separately, Prabhu.
Yeah, because your voice is breaking. I cannot hear, you know.
Okay.
You can write it
Maybe
down.
you can type your question there. Prabhu can answer next. No need to separately, so it'll be used for all the devotees. You can type and send.
இப்போ கேக்குறதுங்களா? இப்போ
Now I
கேக்குறதுங்களா?
can hear you.
Yes,
Now
yes,
I
Okay,
can hear
we
you.
just come on to the road. Yeah, sorry, right? In network. So Prabhupada had instructed that the full morning program should be attended by all devotees in the temple, and they should maintain their spiritual standard by 16 rounds chanting and following the regulative principles. And if they do that, then Prabhupada will send the money for the temple construction project. Now, we have two full-timers in Amalapuram. I'm visiting Amalapuram for a month. So we can, So we have 3 devotees who are attending the morning program. And, so this lecture or this Zoom session happens in the midst of the full morning program. So how do we take care of it? Do we either disregard this particular lecture or do we continue the morning program after this lecture?
What is your morning program at
Or
this
listen.
time?
What, Prabhuji?
What is your morning program at this time?
What is the morning program at this time at 8 o'clock, Prabhuji?
So what is the
Typically,
program?
it should be the bhajan and followed by the Shikshamrita reading, and then followed by the class, Prabhuji.
So now what are we doing now here? What are we doing now here?
We are doing a class, Prabhuji.
So then what's the problem?
Okay, Prabhuji. Right. Then that's fine, Prabhuji.
Come on, be more
Okay,
intelligent
question
with
answered.
your questions. Huh?
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I'm not very
So
intelligent.
I'm kind of what, having a chit chat session or something? What? Come on.
Oh, you're answering our questions, Prabhuji.
So then it's not a class? What is it? Huh? Tell me.
It's a class, Prabhuji.
Yes. So what else? What other questions?
There's another question in the chat. 2 more questions.
My grandmother died recently and she was unable to even eat food or speak properly. I saw her die in front of me. My question is, how can we remember the transcendental activity of the Lord at the time of death if we are struggling so much materially at the time of death? All right, the first question, so much of problems in dying. Can you read this?
Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. O elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Don't you know about this pain?
So this is the position of a person who is going to leave the body. Yes? So if he does not practice this process then this pain, if he's only thinking about this pain, then his mind will become disturbed. Understand? But at the time of death, if you are practicing to hearing and chanting, because you are concentrating on Krishna, then the pain goes away. You understand?
Yes,
Because
Prabhu.
when you come to the spiritual plane, then you are detached from this body. Understand? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
The example is given in this sloka, just like a man who is drunk, he doesn't know he's having clothes on, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
I show you this verse. This is spoken by the Lord. So you can read this.
Just as a drunken man does not notice if he is wearing his coat or shirt, similarly, one who is perfect in self realization and one who has achieved his eternal identity does not notice whether the temporary body is sitting or standing. Indeed, if by God's will the body is finished, or if by God's will he obtains a new body, a self realized soul does not notice, just as a drunken man does not notice the situation of the outward dress.
So that's the main thing. When the person is concentrating on Krishna, this is training, requires training. Then he becomes detached, even if put into the most difficult position. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So unless you got a higher taste, you cannot give up this lower taste. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Understand? So the whole situation is to become spiritually advanced. But if you are not, suddenly you tell a person who's going to die and he's got so much pain, hey, you chant, chant, and the guy, how you will chant? Correct? Yes or not?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
That's why we say you have to do a program, you have to be initiated, you have to get training, Then you can become detached. Yeah? What is that verse? Tachradadana munayo. You know that verse? Hmm? I'll take it out for you. 1 to 12. You see here. So in this verse, uh, okay, here see. Tatshradadana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaye pashanti atmani chatmanam bhaktya sruta grihitaya. Can you read this?
The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. Purport The absolute truth
Yes.
is realized in full by the process of devotional service to the Lord Vasudeva or the personality of Godhead, who is the full-fledged absolute truth. Brahman is his transcendental bodily effulgence, and Paramatma is a partial representation. As such, Brahman or Paramatma realization of the absolute truth is but a partial realization. There are four different types of human beings: the karmis, the jnanis, the yogis, and the devotees. The karmis are materialistic, where the other three are transcendental. The first class transcendentalists are the devotees who have realized the Supreme Person. The second class transcendentalists are those who have partially realized the plenary portion of the Absolute Person. And the third class transcendentalists are those who have barely realized the spiritual focus of the Absolute Person. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures, the Supreme Person is realized by devotional service, which is backed by full knowledge and detachment from material association. We have already discussed the point that devotional service is followed by knowledge and detachment from material association. As Brahman and Paramatma realization are imperfect realizations of the Absolute Truth, so the means of realizing Brahman and Paramatma, that is, the paths of jnana and yoga, are also imperfect means of realizing the Absolute Truth. Devotional service, which is based on the foreground of full knowledge combined with the detachment from material association, and which is fixed by the oral reception of the Vedanta Shruti, is the only perfect method by which the seriously inquisitive student can realize the absolute truth. Devotional service is not, therefore, meant for the less intelligent class of transcendentalists. There are three classes of devotees, namely first, second, and third class. The third class devotees are the neophytes who have no knowledge and are not detached from material association, but were simply attracted by the preliminary process of worshipping the deity in the temple. Can you come now? Are called material devotees. Material devotees are more attached to the material benefit than transcendental profit. Therefore, one has to make definite progress from the position of material devotional service to the second class devotional position. In the second class position, the devotee can see four principles in the devotional line, namely the personality of Godhead, his devotees, the ignorant, and the envious. One has to raise himself at least to the stage of a second class devotee, and thus become eligible to know the absolute truth.
So you see, at the time of death, uh, this is what happens, Can you read?
Terrified, about to die, a man collapses on his bed, although his voice is faltering and he is hardly conscious of what he is saying. If he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of his fruitive work and achieve the supreme destination. But still, people in the age of Kali will not worship the Supreme Lord. You
So
can
that
lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. In the Kali Yuga, objects, places, and even individual personalities are all polluted. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, however, can remove all such contamination from the life of one who fixes the Lord within his mind.
so you understand, we should try to capture the Lord, and it's not easy if you don't practice. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
If a person hears about, glorifies, meditates upon, worships, or simply offers great respect to the Supreme Lord, who is situated within the heart, the Lord will remove from his mind the contamination accumulated during many thousands of lifetimes.
So you see, the whole thing is the Lord, He holds the key for your mind to go to Him. You understand? Because this mind does not belong to you, you know. This mind belongs to who? This Krishna's energy,
Lord.
correct?
Yes,
Yes
Prabhu.
or no? So among difficult things to control, Krishna say, I am the mind. Yes? And if
Yes.
you want your mind to go to Krishna, we have to be crying for it, you know. Yes or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, okay, simple example. Right now, you are told to chant Hare Krishna, correct? And you're told
Yes,
by
Prabhu.
chanting, you please try to hear the holy name, correct?
Yes.
So when you take your beat bag and say, no, today I want to chant, by hearing properly and everything. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Within 1 second, even less, the mind has already gone to don't know where, correct?
Yes.
Can you imagine this was the situation at the time of death? Then how serious it is? Yes or not?
Yes.
I don't know, many, I think may
It will
all
be
of you
difficult.
must be, most of you here must be big yogis. I think you have already got Krishna all wrapped up in your heart, I think. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
No,
Yeah?
no,
Yeah,
no,
we have
no.
to. No, we have to follow that chanting very seriously.
Yeah, it is not some easy thing until you practice, no? Correct?
Correct, Prabhu.
So we have to do every day, every day, every day. By your auntie, is it who died? Your who was that?
My grandmother, Prabhu.
So she was not practiced for this, correct?
Yeah, Prabhu. She was worshipping demigods, but she
Uh,
never had a chance to.
so you see how difficult, no? Yes,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
it says here in this verse, the next verse. Can read.
By once engaging in the process of demigod worship, austerities, breath control, compassion, bathing in holy places, strict vows, charity, and chanting of various mantras, one's mind cannot attain the same absolute purification as that achieved when the unlimited personality of Godhead appears within one's heart.
Yes.
Yes.
And in Kali Yuga, the best way to capture the Lord in the heart is to chant Hare Krishna, no? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you have to teach them. Firstly, we have to practice seriously, and then, of course, we can teach others. The moment you start chanting Krishna's name, you come to the spiritual plane, then the pain is also reduced. Just the example is given in Bhishma Dev, no? The story, correct? Every 2 inch of his body he had an arrow. How much pain would have been for him, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
But the Lord appeared in front of him. Immediately, he had no more pain, no nothing. He says in that prayer, you can see, I think it's 1:9, is it? Anyone knows? Hmm? He says that, just take the prayers. He says that, I don't have any more pain and all. Huh? There it says here. Can anyone read this, please?
By pure meditation, looking at Lord Sri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus, all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body.
So you see that he was relief of all bodily pain caused by the arrow wounds. So if you meditate on the Lord, then you are free from all this pain. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Huh? Can read?
The material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Identification with the material body is due to forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Lord. For a pure devotee of the Lord like Bhishma Dev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. Lord Krishna is like the sun, and the illusory external material energy is like darkness. In the presence of the sun, there is no possibility that darkness can stand. Therefore, just on the arrival of Lord Krishna, all material contamination was completely removed, and Bhishma Dev was thus able to be transcendently situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with matter. The soul is originally pure, as are the senses. By material contamination, the senses assume the role of by material contamination, the senses assume the role of imperfection and impurity. By revival of contact with the Supreme Pure, Lord Krishna, the senses again become freed from material contaminations. Bhishmadev attained all these transcendental conditions prior to his leaving the material body because of the presence of the Lord. The Lord is a controller and benefactor of all living beings. That is the verdict of all Vedas. He is the supreme eternal living entity amongst all the eternal living beings. And he alone provides all necessities for all kinds of living beings. Thus, he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee, Sri Bhishmadev, who began to pray as follows.
So you see, this is the essence of the whole thing. If you come back to your spiritual plane, then you're no more concerned with this body, you know. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is the secret, you know. You become Krishna conscious, then everything is adjusted by Krishna. But if you're not Krishna conscious, then of course you have to suffer all this thing terribly. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm? That's why even Uddhava said, you know, in this verse, in this verse you can see
My dear Lord, for the one who is being cruelly burned in the blazing fire of material miseries, having fallen into the network of material existence, I do not see any possible shelter besides your two lotus feet, which are a shower of nectar extinguishing the fire of suffering. Material existence is like an ocean that is extremely difficult to cross. The conditioned souls have fallen into this ocean, which is not cool, but rather burns them with the fire of misery. For one who has fallen into the sea and decides to get out, there is no rescue boat, except the constant releasing within oneself of the pastime narrations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
See? Understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you cannot make it if you don't surrender to Krishna, And if you surrender to Krishna, then you don't go through all these things that the others are going through. There's a big
Yes, Prabhu.
difference. You understand? That's why you saw your grandmother dying, but how to save her? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Something? Yes.
Yes,
Hmm?
Prabhu.
Answers your question?
Yeah, Prabhu. Answers. Thanks, Prabhu.
What is this next one? How to control our emotions and dedicate it to the service of Lord Krishna. The first thing we have to learn is to surrender to the pure devotee and become his disciple. All this emotional at this early stage is all very sentimental. We
Okay.
have to learn how to surrender and take directions because emotions are all now based on our mental plane.
Yes,
And the
Prabhu.
spiritual thing starts first by surrendering, our mind to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. You understand?
All right.
Hmm?
Okay, Prabhu.
Without surrendering to spiritual master, all these things becomes a havoc in our life. The mind will tell you so many crazy things.
True. Very
That's
true,
why
Prabhu.
it says here in this verse,
Uh,
says in this verse, you can read this.
yes, Prabhu. Uh, this uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O king, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Read the purport.
Yes, Prabhu. There, there is one easy weapon with which the mind can be conquered: disobedience. The mind is always telling us to do this or that. Therefore, we should be very expert in disobeying the mind's orders. Gradually, the mind should be trained to obey the orders of the soul. It is not that one should obey the it is not that one should obey the orders of the mind. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that to control the mind, one should beat it with shoes many times just after awakening and again before going to sleep. In this way, one can control the mind. This is the instruction of all the Shastras. If one does not do so, one is doomed to follow the dictations of the mind. Another bona fide process is to abide strictly by the orders of the spiritual master and engage in the Lord's service. Then the mind will automatically controlled. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed Srila Rupa Goswami. Prabhu, should I read this?
Yes.
ब्रह्मांड ब्रह्मते कोना भाग्यवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पय bhakti lata bicha. When one receives the seed of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's real life begins. If one abides by the orders of the spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, is freed from the service to the mind.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah? So now, and all emotions are all not very important.
Okay.
Okay, to purify your mind, that's all you have to do. Your mind is always doing this thing. I like this. I don't like that. I like him. I
Very
don't
true,
like.
Prabhu.
This is
Very true.
all based on the mental thing. Understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So until we get purified, it's very difficult. So that's a process. First thing is to surrender to the pure devotee, spiritual master. Then follow the rules and regulations. And that way, all the dirty thing in the heart will go. Then
Yes,
you
Prabhu.
develop steadiness. Then you develop what we say a taste for chanting. Then you develop attraction for Krishna, and that leads to preliminary love, and finally you get love of Godhead. So all goes, one after the other.
Yes,
Hmm?
Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Understood, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
How to, Prabhu, what is the best way to keep up our enthusiasm to chant Hare Krishna despite being surrounded by people who are always ready to demotivate us? So the formula is given in this verse to chant always Krishna's name. This is the method. It says this verse that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, give me a minute. The formula for Kirtaniya Sada Hari, the method is this. Okay, this is the secret. This is the verse we chant every day in the morning. Tanadapi Sunichena, Taroapi Saisuna, Amanina Madadena, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So you see, you want to chant all the time, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. This is the formula. You can read. Anyone can read? Everyone don't want to read. All put your video off. I don't know whether you don't. You put your video off. I don't know you are reading, hearing the class, or you're doing something else, or what you're doing. Come on, I told you put on the video. Why you're so shy? I don't know what you'll be doing. I'm having a Zoom session. I want to see you. What I'm wasting my time. I better close this and go away. I can put myself video off. Would you like that? Huh? Talking to some impersonal personality. Can you read this, please, someone?
One who thinks himself lower than
One
a
who
grass.
thinks
One who
himself
thinks
lower than a
himself
grass.
lower than
Go ahead.
One who thinks himself lower than the grass is more tolerant than a tree and does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant.
So if you want to chant the name of Krishna all the time, then this is the formula. You understand? Firstly, we have to become humble. We have to think ourselves lower than the straw in the street. Then we have to become more tolerant than a tree. And we give all respect to others and not expecting any return. Right? In this way, we will be able to chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. You understand? This is the secret. Yes? Who asked this question? Hello?
Subramaniam Prabhu.
Oh,
Yes, Prabhu.
Subramaniam.
Hare
Subramaniam
Krishna.
Prabhu asked the question.
Okay, you understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah?
Mani na mani then.
Understand or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
So in order to do this, you have to have a guru. You cannot do this, oh, I learned already, I will try to do. It's not possible. You have to have a spiritual master in order to get this kind of consciousness. You cannot think like this if you don't have a guru. That's not possible. Understand this point. Why I'm telling you this is because of this. We all have got this false ego. Huh? Yes?
Yes,
Yes
Prabhu.
or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
Huh?
That's true.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
And our false ego, because of the false ego, we get all kind of crazy things in our head. Huh? Show you this verse, then you will understand what I'm talking about. This is the problem. In this verse, can you read this?
The false ego of the living entity places him in bondage, rewards him exactly the opposite. Therefore, an intelligent person, to give up this constant anxiety to enjoy material life, remains situated in the dark, beyond the functions of material consciousness.
Uh, so understand this.
29 to 30 రాశారు అక్కడ really అది బాగుంది అది వస్తేనే టైప్ 12 మూవీస్ బాగుంది really and it is making good.
Yeah, can you read this?
You should consider how the influence of my illusory learning, these three states of the mind, forms of nature, in artificially imagined existence. Having definitely ascertained the truth of the
Voice is
soul,
not clear. Your voice is not clear. Why?
you should
Your-
consider how.
Yeah,
Is it
better
clear?
now.
Yeah. You should consider how, by the influence of my illusory energy, these three states of the mind, caused by the modes of nature, have been artificially imagined to exist in me. Having definitely ascertained the truth of the soul, you should utilize the sharpened sword of knowledge, acquired by logical reflection, and the instructions of sages in Vedic literatures, to completely cut off the false ego, which is a breeding ground of all wrongs. All of you should then worship me, who am situated within the heart.
You follow? All this is because of the false ego. And to get the false ego, we need to surrender to the spiritual master. Here it says instruction of the sages and Vedic literatures. So if we don't have a guru, then it's not possible to chant our rounds also properly. Some people are propagating that you don't require initiation.
Yes, Prabhu.
No, Prabhupada books are Prabhupada books is already, you read Prabhupada book, you're initiated already. It's not a fact. You really need the connection. Otherwise, why Prabhupada answered, what to do when you're no longer here, how to get initiation? Why Prabhupada said, no, you read my books, no, enough, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu, he could have said that. But he didn't say that.
Why did he say that? Because connection is important. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Ah. So we cannot just think that, I've accepted Prabhupada, I'm reading his book, I'm following instruction, and that's it. No, it doesn't work like that. So if you want to make advancement in spiritual life, you must make a formal commitment. That's very important. It says here, you cannot follow the spiritual master if you don't connect yourself. You understand?
Yes,
Explain
Prabhu.
here. Can you read this verse?
Unless one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again into the animal species.
Yes? So you
Yes,
cannot
Prabhu.
think that, no, I will just sit on the fence and, never mind, I'll read Prabhupada books. You cannot understand. It's not possible. You understand this point? Yeah. No
Yes,
spiritual
Prabhu.
master means no spiritual life. Period. Huh? Understood? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
I have one question, Prabhu. Uh,
Hmm.
so regarding that chanting, right? Uh, my grandmother, I have asked my grandmother to chant Hare Krishna,
Hmm.
but she's not able to memorize the chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly in condition. So but she still fixes some time for a day, like to chant improperly, like Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, like that. He's not chanting the exact mantra.
Hmm.
So what is the position of her? What will happen to her?
Very good question. So to answer this question, I go to this place in this CC. Haridas Thakur is speaking. So I'm going to just show you what he says. Before this, I can show you one more verse. Let me take this. He says, give me a minute. I just take this out. In here, you can read about it. Okay. Can you read?
Namacharya Haridas Thakura, the authority on the chanting of the holy name, said, the chanting of the Lord's holy name to indicate something other than the Lord is an instance of Nama Bhasa. Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed. Even a mlecha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Harama, Harama, attains liberation. What to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? This refers to an instance in which a meat eater being killed by a boar uttered the words Harama, Harama again and again at the time of his death. Since this is a quotation from the Narsimha Purana, this indicates that in the Puranic age, there must also have been Nechas and Yavanas, meat eaters, and that the words Harama meaning condemned were also uttered in those days. Thus, Haridas Thakura gives evidence that Even a meat eater who condemns something by uttering the words harama gets the benefit of chanting the holy name that the devotee chants to mean, O my Lord Rama. Ajamila was a great sinner during his life, but at the time of death he accidentally called for his youngest son, whose name was Narayana, and the attendants of Lord Vishnu came to relieve him from the bonds of Yamaraja, the superintendent of death. The word Rama consists of the two syllables Ra and Ma. These are unseparated and are decorated with the loving word Ha, meaning O. The letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they act even when uttered improperly.
So that purport.
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura states that the word Vyavahita, improperly uttered, is not used here to refer to the mundane vibration of the letters of the alphabet. Such negligent utterance for the sense gratification of materialistic persons is not a vibration of transcendental sound. Utterance of the holy name while one engages in sense gratification is an impediment on the path towards achieving ecstatic love for Krishna. On the other hand, if one who is eager for devotional service utters the holy name, even partial or improperly, the holy name, which is identical with the Suvan, which is the channel of oral reception, the holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offense in chanting the holy name of the Lord. This This verse from the Padma Purana is included in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa 11.289 by Sanatana Goswami. Therefore, therein Srila Sanatana Goswami gives the following explanation. Vachi Gatam Prasang. This means that if one somehow or other hears, utters, or remembers the holy name, or if it catches his mind while coming near his ears, that holy name, even if vibrated in separate words, will act. An example of such separation is given as follows. Suppose one is using the two words halam, riktam. Now the syllable ha in the word halam and the syllable ri in riktam are separately pronounced, but nevertheless the holy name will act because one somehow or other utters the word hari. Similarly, in the word raja mahisi, the word ra and ma appear in two separate words, but because they somehow or other appear together, the holy name Rama will act, provided there are no offenses.
So that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu. The holy name has so much spiritual potency that it can deliver one from all sinful reactions and material entanglements. But utterance of the holy name will not be very fruitful if done to facilitate sinning. Yeah.
Read on the last one.
The holy name is so powerful that it must act. But when one utters the holy name with offenses, its action will be delayed, not immediate, although in favorable circumstances the holy name of the Lord act very quickly. Yes,
So you understand?
yes, Prabhu.
Huh?
Clear, Prabhu. Now clear, Prabhu.
Hmm. So just let her chant whatever she can do. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
So it says also in another place, I show you another verse. It's in the Bhagavatam. said that even if you chant improperly, the holy name will act, you know. Give me a minute, huh?
Is it 6 to 14, Prabhu?
6 to 14 now.
Hmm.
There is no, even a chance, not this one. Looking for it.
Is it 1114, bro?
Huh?
1114?
1114 now. No, it's in this part here. Even if it chants improperly, you know. Give me a minute. I'm looking for it. I think it's up here in 6 to something. For improperly. Whole chapter about chanting the name of the Lord, you know.
Is it 6327?
6327. I don't think so, no. 6327 is not, you know.
27.
You read? Can you read?
One minute, bro. I tell you. 63.
I can't find it. Huh? Even it's chanted improperly.
Yeah, 6324.
6324. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. 6324. Yeah. That's the verse. All right. Here in this verse, you can see. You can read that.
Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of his qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. Even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve relief from material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamila, for example, was extremely sinful, but while dying, he merely chanted the holy name, and although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the name of Narayana. In the assembly of Raghunatha Dasa, Goswami's father, Haridas Thakura, confirmed that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is liberated, even if he does not chant completely inoffensively. inoffensively. Smarta Brahmanas and Mayavadis do not believe that one can achieve liberation in this way, but the truth of Haridas Thakura's statement is supported by many quotations from Srimad Bhagavatam. In his commentary on this verse, for example, Sridhara gives the following quotation: Sayam pratar granam bhaktya dukkha gramad vimuchyate. If one always chants the holy name of the Lord with great devotion in the evening and the morning, one can become free from all material miseries. Another quotation confirms that one can achieve liberation if one hears the holy name of the Lord constantly, every day with great respect. Anudinam idam adarena srinvan. Another quotation says, Sravanam kirtanam dhyanam harer adbhuta karmanaha janma karma gunanam cha tad artheshila titam. One should always chant and hear about the extraordinarily wonderful activities of the Lord. One should meditate upon these activities and one should endeavor to please the Lord. Sridhara Swami also quotes from the Puranas, Papa Shashcha Bhavati Smaratam Tam Ahar Nisam. Become free from all sinful reactions simply by remembering the lotus feet of the Lord day and night, Ahar Nisam. Furthermore, he quotes from Bhagavatam 6.331, Tasma Sankirtanam Vishnur Jagan Mangalam Amhasam Mahatam Api Kaura Vya Vidhi Aikantika Niskartam. All these quotations prove that one who constantly engages in chanting and hearing of the holy activities, name, fame, and form of the Lord is liberated. As stated wonderfully in this verse, Etavatalam agha nirharanaya pumsam. Simply by uttering the name of the Lord, one is freed from all sinful reactions. The word alam, which is used in this verse, indicates that simply uttering the holy name of the Lord is sufficient. This word is used with different imports. As stated in the Amara Kosa, the most authorized dictionary in the Sanskrit language, Alam Bhusana Paryapti Sakti Varana Vachakam. The word alam is used to mean ornament, sufficiency, power, and restraint. Here, the word alam is used to indicate that there is no need of any other process for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is sufficient. Even if one chants imperfectly, one becomes free from all sinful reactions by chanting. This power of chanting the holy name was proved by the liberation of Ajamila. When Ajamila chanted the holy name of Narayana, he did not precisely remember the Supreme Lord. Instead, he remembered his own son. At the time of death, Ajamila certainly was not very clean. Indeed, he was famous as a great sinner. Furthermore, one's physiological condition is completely disturbed at the time of death, and in such an awkward condition, it would certainly have been very difficult for Ajamila to have chanted clearly. Nevertheless, Ajamila achieved liberation simply by chanting the name of the Lord. Therefore, what is to be said of those who are not sinful like Ajamila? It is to be concluded that with a strong vow one should chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For thus one will certainly be delivered from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Krishna. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended even for persons who commit offenses, because if they continue chanting, they will gradually chant offenselessly. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, one increases his love for Krishna. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Pum Artho Mahan. One's main concern should be increase one's attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to increase one's love for Him. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura quotes the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.1924. My dear Uddhava, the supreme religious system for human society is that by which one can awaken his dormant love for me. Commenting on this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura describes the word bhakti by saying, Premai Vokta Ka Anya Artha Asya. In the presence of bhakti, what is the necessity of liberation? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura also quotes this verse from the Padma Purana. Even if in the beginning one chants the Hare Krishna mantra with offenses, one will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. Papa Shashcha Bhavati Smaratam Tam Ahar Nisam. One becomes free from all sinful reactions if one chants day and night, following the recommendations of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who quoted the following verse: Hare Nama Namaiva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. Can you please call below? CC Adi 1721. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. If the members of the Krishna consciousness movement strictly follow this recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their position will always be secure.
So therefore, chanting in any way you take up, it's very auspicious. Only thing is that you should not commit offenses. Hmm? I'm sure you all are aware of the 10 offenses, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The biggest problem with the Hindu community, when you ask them to chant, they chant, but they think all gods are the same, you know. So this is a big problem for them. Yes. Any further
Then the advancement
questions?
will be very slow, Prabhu, right? For who chants with offense, the advancement will be very slow for them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They may not make sufficient progress, you know. That's why one has to learn how to do this with the help of a devotee, you know.
Yes.
By help of devotee, we learn how to do things properly. Yes, nobody can become a devotee without the help of a devotee. It's not possible. So association in one way or other is the most important thing. Yes, no questions. Just like now you all are locked down, no? I'm sure you're anchoring for association, is it not?
Yes.
No.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Especially your association.
I don't know by me coming and screaming at you, but
No, that's good, Prabhu. No, you have to get screaming from devotees.
so any other questions?
One more in the chat.
What is that?
Is it answer, Prabhu? How to identify rectify offenses against holy name also addressed along with that? Okay, now finished. Okay. Oh, that's it, Prabhu. That's it.
How to identify and rectify offense against the holy name?
I think it covered in this part.
Hmm.
Hare
How
Krishna
to
Prabhu, one
mostly
follow-up question.
mostly you won't know, you know who what kind of offense you're doing unless it's pointed out by association, you know. You understand? So association is very important. Anything else? What's question?
Yeah, Prabhu, one follow-up question, Prabhu. This example of Ajamila, is Ajamila did not have a spiritual master, or did he have? How did he? It is said that his chanting was offenseless. Just trying to understand how that particular part is
He had a
elaborated.
spiritual master, you know, definitely he had a spiritual master because all Brahmins have spiritual masters, no?
Okay.
So he was chanting without any offense because he was referring to his son. He was that verse is there, you know. In this verse,
Living beings
un-
who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the name of Krishna, which is feared by fear person.
so he chanted because of fear. He chanted. He called his son, you know. That's why it's so important to put children's name, not like under the movie stars, you know. It's better to put the name under the most supreme personality of Godhead, who is Krishna, correct? If you call your son Shah Rukh Khan, you're gonna have any help? Think? Yes. So parents has to know this, you know. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Or put some fancy name. I don't know what kind of crazy name. Someone out there got the name of a prince. I don't know how that will help. Yeah? Yes or not? So these are all systems that have been already there in our Vedic system, but we're trying to change it, That's the problem. All right. Any other questions?
Well, I have one question about the dress code. So, like, is that Punjabi dress is allowed by Prabhupada? Is it all right? Because some devotees think it is all right. What's wrong in wearing this Punjabi dress?
Why don't
I
you
would
eat
like
the
to know.
why don't you eat the Muslim Punjabi food also?
But now it's a very normal thing in our movement. They think it is all right. At least when they are going out and when they are, like not well, they are wearing this. Is it? It's not so important, or can that be adjusted?
If you are a devotee, then you dress as a devotee. Understand this point? You have to show this is stated in Nectar of Devotion. And Prabhupada has strictly given us this guideline to wear dhoti for man, woman wear a sari. Even in sari, he commented what kind of style you should wear the sari also. I never heard that he allowed this. What is this Punjabi? It's actually the Muslim word, Sulwa Kamis. You understand? If you want to go and wear that, then I don't know how it's part of a movement. Then later on, you will wear the jeans, and then you will wear your tank top, and this will go on. Correct? If you are not a devotee, then I reserve my command. But if you are a devotee, then you follow what Prabhupada has given. Yes? And if you try to change, then you will change not only in this thing, many things you will change. What we will not stop changing, correct? And all you will simply say Prabhupada said. That's all, finish. Have you seen Prabhupada? Have you heard Prabhupada? No. Prabhupada said. Correct? Yes? Can take pictures, all the old pictures. You see any lady dressing in Punjabi there? Have you seen? Hello? You are in
No,
Tamil
Prabhu.
Nadu, you have to be Punjabi. You go to Punjab. Huh? Right?
For emergency, it's okay, Prabhu.
What emergency? The women in Punjab wear this thing because they're getting raped, That's why they got this dress. If the emergency you're getting raped, I don't mind you wear. You follow? Understand? Nobody walk around in saris,
When we
India.
go outside, I mean, like the devotees, when they go outside, that's okay, right? To wear this. When they're in temple, it is okay. What about if they're going out for shopping or this and that, going for traveling?
Why?
Is it all
What's
right?
wrong? What's wrong with wearing the sari? You cannot go outside the sari. Some problem? You're getting arrested? What?
I don't know what is the problem, but that's a common thing
Radha,
everybody does nowadays
Radharani,
in our movement.
Radharani, Radharani goes outside. She put Punjabi and dance in Rasalila. Did she do that? Huh? What? It's all a disease of the mind, It's all. Because you feel cumbersome wearing the cloth and all. But what did you think for preaching? Somebody will look at you and ask questions. You can preach. Yes. If you dress like a common person, then how they'll think everybody's ordinary, correct? Yes or not? Right? You follow
Yes.
the system given by the Acharya Upasanam. You don't follow the general public. That is not our system. Yes?
Yes.
And when you dress properly, your mind becomes very clear. Yes or not?
Yes.
Huh? This is
Just to.
purifying the mind. Correct?
Even the Prabhus now they think it is all right to wear pants and shirt when they are traveling on the train or flight or I mean, of course, I'm not talking about those who are working. Working is different. That is dress code for the work. I mean, when they go for the work, they have to wear. Apart from the work, I mean, nowadays they think it is all right. What is there in the dress? Uh, it's not only for the Mataji, even the Prabhus, they think they can wear shorts and sleep at night time. Because I mean, I never seen or I never seen and we never practiced in ISKM Singapore like this. But nowadays they think it is all right to wear the shorts and sleep. And when we go back home and change to shorts or night pants, this is actually becoming a new trend.
What to do, Prabhu? Everybody is independent. Everybody is becoming acharya. That's the problem. Yes, this is, what they say, uh, adjusting. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
The more you become strict, the more you make advancement. The more you compromise, the more you will compromise. And then where you will stop. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes or not? Prabhupada was told by the Ramakrishna mission, no, you're going to the West to preach, you must learn how to wear coat, shirt and all.
Also, wear
Correct?
spoons and fork.
Ah. Prabhupada said, I'm not going there to learn their habits. I'm going there to teach our. So we should be very, proud of wearing the sari or wearing the dhoti. And this way, we set an example. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Correct, Prabhu. I just wanted to clarify with all the devotees. So, because when you say it is more clear. I mean, of course, I don't do that, because I learned from you. So I don't do that. I'm just asking for so that it become very concrete when you say that.
I don't have any. Of course, I have to wear the pants when I go to China. Otherwise, they will kill me. Otherwise, they won't allow me into the country. But otherwise, I never wear this stuff. I never had my wife wearing all this stuff also.
Actually, I want to give the card, change the card actually.
Fourth floor. So therefore, we have to learn how to be very strict. That's the main thing. You know, how you like if Krishna is dressed in jeans, on the altar? Is it nice?
Well, while going for tending cows, you can wear jeans. In the home, you can wear dhoti.
Huh? Radharani wears some bikini. Is it nice? What do you think? Huh? That is nonsense. You follow? Some of you are Indians, why this is Vedic dress? Why can't wear this? Correct? So, okay, try to wear your jeans, huh? Hare Krishna. Yes, cannot play cricket with this
Yes, true.
Doti, Prabhu. Doti cannot play with cricket. Cricket cannot play with Doti. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you. No, not from our side. Anybody has anything?
All right, I guess I'm sorry I was a little harsh, but what to do? Ask a little bit of your forgiveness for being a little bit strong today speaking.
So we require that. Otherwise, sometimes it won't go in easily. If harsh words are spoken, then it goes in easily. We ourselves tend to realize what are we doing till now.
That's why our ISKM is not growing. So many hard words and nobody stays. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. All grace to Srila
See you
Prabhupada.
all again. This recording you can send to the others. Huh?
Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you again. All glories to
Krishna Prabhu. All
Srila
good.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Always
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.